Hello everybody, this is Gregory with how I lost over 100 pounds and I've kept it up for 30 plus years, where there should be no hesitance in your weight loss and weight maintenance. Today we're going to talk about healthy foods that are healthy, but the way that they are made and the way they are bought make them unhealthy. Now before we begin, if you need help with weight loss, contact me through the Clarity FM link found here in the episode notes. Also check out my website, which has hundreds of articles and recipes. If you like podcasts, I have the Awakened Man, which is very health and medically related. If you want something more frivolous, I have the Cinema Rag. You can find both of these podcasts on Apple and Spotify. And lastly, if you appreciate my content, there is a link for PayPal for a donation. So there's a lot of healthy foods out there that we know are healthy, but of course, big food doesn't care about you. Grocery stores don't care about you. We have previous videos on this. All they care about is the money. And many times they're going to make foods try to reach the bliss point, which is, the perfect ratio of fat, sugar, and salt. Or in some cases, depending on what the food is, they're just going to put as much sugar as them as possible. So you kind of need to know these landmines. It's kind of like with things with organic. Big food knows that if they make a box green, you're automatically going to think healthier, natural, organic. Just the color itself does that. And so you see a lot of companies just make everything organic. And we've talked about, like, for example, in produce on the episode on the Dirty Dozen, you don't need to buy every fruit and vegetable organic. There's a lot of fruits and vegetables that don't absorb pesticides you can buy regular. For example, bananas, most of the citrus. But they'll know, well, if we have an organic one, there's going to be a certain criteria of people who just know enough to know certain things are bad, but have never done the full research to know the whole story, and then they'll gladly take the marked up double price of whatever you bought that was organic. So it's kind of the same thing with healthy foods that are actually not that healthy, the way they're made. So for example, if you look at Greek yogurt in itself is healthy. We've talked about it before, how it's a probiotic food. It's a fermented food, so it's going to have, it's not the best probiotic food, but certainly it's the most accessible and least expensive of the probiotic foods. And it's going to have healthy bacteria in there that's going to help your microbiome. But the majority of Greek yogurt out there, or yogurt in general, is going to be flavored. And so when you go to buy your Chobani, or you go to buy your Faye, or whatever brand it is that you buy, most of them are going to come vanilla flavored, or they're going to have blueberry strawberries, they'll call it that, but it's really some sort of sweet compost. And then you mix it in there, and now you're getting as much sugar as you would in a soda. So it's one of those things, we know it's healthy, but the majority of the ways that it's sold is unhealthy. So when you're looking at Greek yogurt, which I do definitely recommend that you try to incorporate in your diet at least 3-4 times a week, buy the unflavored one, of course, and buy full fat, because full fat is going to fill you up and it just honestly tastes better. And then if you want to sweeten it up, you can just do some blueberries, unripened bananas are prebiotic and they don't have as much sugar. And of course, if you want to put like a little honey or homemade granola or something like that, that's fine. Or if you just want to eat full fat plain yogurt with no sugar, you can do that as well. Kombucha is another one. Talking about probiotic drinks here, where kombucha is certainly something you can make at home, is something that's very healthy for us. It's a fermented black tea, essentially. But the way that it's sold commercially is they add a lot of sugar now, because they know that you've heard kombucha is healthy for you. And so they want to put a lot of sugar in there because they want you to buy and keep buying their brand of kombucha. So you can look at some kombuchas, and most of the bottles of kombucha have 2 to 3 servings, okay? So when you're looking on the back, it's not like if it says 7 grams of sugar, that's for the whole bottle. It's going to be 14 or 21 grams of sugar. And yes, there's going to be sugar that's kind of organically built into kombucha because that's how the process of it being made is. But they will add added sugar. So in some kombuchas, if you're drinking the whole bottle, you're getting as much sugar as soda. Now, again, Coca Cancer sodas have absolutely no nutrition, so it's better to drink the kombucha. But understand that there are kombuchas that you can buy. I would recommend you make your own, but that you could buy that certainly have less. So that's another example of kind of a healthy food that they've adulterated. And there's a lot of these. I mean, you can look at nuts. Nuts as a whole are pretty healthy if you soak the nuts. We have a video here on that. Get a dehydrator and you soak them. Don't buy them already roasted, because they're roasted in industrial grade vegetable oils, which corrode your heart, lead to arteriosclerosis and all these other problems. But the other issue with nuts is that you can buy the sugar-coated nuts. You can buy those, and those taste great. I remember being in Florence in the winter, and they would sell roasted nuts, and they're so good, right? Sweetly roasted nuts. But just understand, when you buy roasted nuts, or even one of my favorites, dark chocolate covered almonds or walnuts, that you're getting a lot of sugar that comes in that. So nuts in themselves, if eaten sparingly and soaked, can be a healthy food. But typically the grocery stores are going to make them sweet, and they're going to vitiate them because, again, they're more appealing to you that way, and then you'll buy their product. Remember, the grocery stores just want your dollar, and so they're taking advantage of your somewhat ignorance on certain things to get you to get hooked on their particular brand. You could say the thing about hummus. Hummus can be, as a whole, I wouldn't call it a superfood. And we have a playlist here on 20 kitchen items that help me with my weight maintenance throughout the decades. And hummus, I love hummus. It's best to make hummus at home from scratch, because of course you can control the ingredients and there won't be any preservatives. If you buy Cedar hummus or whatever the brand that's in your neighborhood at the grocery store, it's going to have a lot of preservatives. And now, you see the kind of the different flavors that they're doing for hummus. Even there's chocolate hummus and so forth. And so again, these are adulterated. So hummus can be great if you make it on your own. And if you have to buy the store-bought, stay away from the flavored ones. Going back to nuts, you can look at the nut butters as a whole. When we buy the conventional peanut butters, they're so sweet. Like, if you ever go to one of your grocery stores that has the nuts in the bin and you actually make homemade peanut butter, you press the button, it fills it up, and you taste it, you're like, my God, this tastes like garbage, because we're so used to the sugary peanut butter. And so when it comes to peanut butters, I would tell you, like, don't get peanut butter. I would get almond butter, cashew butter, because it's a higher quality nut. Peanuts are a legume, they're not even a nut. But if you have to buy peanut butter because of cost purposes, get Jiffy Natural peanut butter, Peter Pan Natural, because those don't use hydrogenated vegetable oil. If you buy the conventional peanut butter, it's made up of a trans fat. Hydrogenated vegetable oil is a trans fat, which will clog up your heart. So at least with Jiffy and Peter Pan Natural, they use palm oil, which isn't as bad. But if you have the money, I would tell you to get at least almond. Typically almond is the next level up, which would be 2 to 2.5 times more expensive than peanut butter. So part of you is like, I can get 3 peanut butters for the same price as an almond butter. I understand that, but at least with almond butter, you're getting the nutrients of an almond compared to the nutrients of a peanut, which is not a lot. But even with the almond butters or any of the nut butters, they're doing a lot of flavored ones right now. There's a cookie dough nut butter and cinnamon amaretto nut butter and all these ones, just tons of sugar that they're adding in there. So if you're going to do nut butter, I would just tell you, go to the organic bin aisle and just make the peanut butter there, or just buy unflavored peanut butter. And peanut butter is great. I love eating with dark chocolate. I talk about it all the time. But it's one of those that you need to eat sparingly because they have a lot of calories. The last one I want to talk about is my favorite, dark chocolate. Now, dark chocolate, ideally, you want to buy and get 85 to 90%. If you can handle 100% baker's chocolate, God bless you, but I would probably go 90% because it has the less amount of sugar. And we have various episodes here on like which chocolate brand to buy. The Awaken Man, if you go to like episode 24, but way back I did in 2017, I actually do a review of the most common dark chocolate brands like Ghirardelli, Lindt, and all these, and tell you which ingredient wise, which is the best one to get. But clearly with the dark chocolates, they sell a lot of flavored dark chocolate. So it's orange flavored, strawberry flavored, caramel flavored, all these, tons of sugar. And as it is, a lot of people can't handle the 90% dark chocolate, so they start with 70%, which I understand, right? You want to work your way up. But 70% dark chocolate, and if you ever eat M&M's dark chocolate or Dove, those brands, their dark chocolate is actually 60%, so it's got a lot of sugar. Just look on the back. So if you're getting like a regular flavored dark chocolate, not only is it not a 90%, it's like a 60 to 70%. So you're getting a lot of the sugar just for it being a low percentage dark chocolate. And then you're adding in all the sugar that they do with the fruit or whatever flavor it is. So a dark chocolate, eventually the pinnacle is to get unflavored 90 to 95% dark chocolate. And that's the way to go there. And there's a lot of other healthy foods where Big Food preys upon your ignorance. Remember, ignorance just means lack of knowledge. Preys upon your ignorance on these things. So if all else fails, just use kind of the rubric of unflavored everything. Another one really quick would be almond drinks, coconut milk. That's another one where they just put in a bunch of sugar. But when it comes to almond and coconut milk, I would tell you, especially with almond milk, make your own. It's infinitely cheaper, and you're getting a lot more almonds than the conventional almond milk sold at your grocery store, which has very few almonds in it. Not to mention they throw in guar gum and carrageenan and all this crap in there. Guys, post in the comments. I'd love to hear from you other healthy foods that you think are adulterated, or tell me which are your favorites. Until next time, take care, God bless, and pray.